Davening takeaway, Torah Ohr, Daf Samach Daled. On this daf, the Alter Rebbe in a mimer goes through and actually has a very fascinating description of the process that we go through in davening. The Alter Rebbe describes that every one of us in our own personal avodah needs to have a Yetzias Mitzrayim, an exodus from Egypt, and a Krias a splitting of the sea in our daily lives. And how is that? That's through the davening. He explains that in davening in the Krias, the very end of Krias, we do describe the exodus, the going out of Egypt. And then following that, the bracha, we have some detail about that. And then in that bracha, we also talk about the splitting of the sea. The Alter Rebbe explains that Egypt, Mitzrayim, which comes from the word limitation or confinement, we see that all created things, whether it's the spiritual worlds or the physical, they all have some sort of limit. And when we talk about the Galus of Mitzrayim, that means that in this world, we're so attached to this world and the craziness of this world that we are sort of sunk into it. And the Melech Mitzrayim, the king of Egypt, the king of this Galus of Egypt, is the intellect that has now been used to rationalize all these crazy things we do in the world and sinks us into it. The Alter Rebbe then says it gets so deep sometimes that even the intellect is gone and we just do things without even any rhyme or reason. It's just how the world works and how we do it. And that's even a deeper situation, a more difficult situation, as he describes in a pasuk in Parshas Shmos, where the king of Egypt dies and the Jewish people cried and had tremendous pain, more pain than ever. And that's now a spiritual situation where we are so sunk that even the intellect is not working. And so we cry out with the deepest cry to want to reunite with Hashem and reunite with Hashem's essence. As it says and described in the Shema, Ahavah, we love Hashem, bchol Meodcha. Bchol Meodcha is without limit, which is reflecting on the essence of Hashem. So then the Alter Rebbe goes and actually asks the question, well, how is it possible for us, those who are sunk into this deep level of Galus, where we're involved in this world to the extent that it doesn't even make sense? How in the world can we leave that? How can we get out of that and actually reach out and touch the essence of Hashem? And so the Alter Rebbe describes that that's through the hisbonenus, the Jewish meditation through davening, both in Krias, both in Psukei Zimra, starting with Baruch Shemar, and Ve'ikr, he says, in the brachas, the birchas Krias, the brachas before the Shema, that's after Baruch Hu. And he describes then a pasuk, I'm probably not a pasuk, a line that is found in the first bracha of Yetzias Ohr, after the detailed description and sort of an analysis of all the amazing variety of the physical world. The next paragraph says, Borei Kadeshim Yishtabach Shimcha Malkeinu, that you, Hashem, are the creator of the holy ones, the spiritual beings, and your name will be praised forever, our King. And so interestingly, that we see a very similar description, not too early, much earlier, just before Baruch Hu, we have the little section called Yishtabach. Yishtabach is very similar. We don't say Borei Kadeshim, but we do say Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu. And there, this recognition of Hashem's amazingness, at that point, even though we're in Yetzira, which is more the emotions, more the character traits, we are experiencing in that framework a very, very high holiness, to the point where we can just proclaim, Hashem, you will be praised forever for all these amazing things, though it's not really described in that Yishtabach, all the different things that are praised. Where here now, in this bracha, Yetzias Ohr, we start going into quite some detail, talking about the amazingness, especially the spiritual beings that reflect Hashem's amazingness. And we see that all these amazing things both before it with this physical, but in particular now with all the amazing spiritual realms, chamber after chamber, up to an infinite numbers of chambers and beings in those chambers, the angels, etc. All this amazing thing is really all reflected or actually created by Hashem's name. That's why we're praising Hashem's name forever. Hashem's name is connected with the level of Malchus. And that level is really is explained as just a glint or a little reflection of the light that came from Hashem himself through all the different processing and contractions and whatnot, till finally it comes to a level of Malchus, where then Malchus is able, from all that little glint and reflection of Hashem's light, to bring about all this amazing wonderful things. And from that, we will then generate a tremendous love and urge to connect directly with the source of that, which is Hashem, which is the essence of Hashem, way beyond all of that. And so we then will be able, with that urge and that desire, reach Kriya Shema, praising Hashem's oneness, and then can proclaim and reach a level which will love Hashem, bchol Meodcha, with all our might, to unlimited amounts, because of this tremendous urging to get there and to be with Hashem. And from that, we will experience an actual going out of Mitzrayim, not just the Galus, but actually Mitzrayim totally, that we will not be sunk into this world anymore. We will connect to Hashem. And so now the world will be put in perspective. All the spiritual worlds will also be put into perspective. And then we march as we go higher and higher now, heading towards the Shemona Esrei, which is the pinnacle. We experience a Krias Yamsuf. That's a splitting of the sea. And as it's explained in this mimer and mimers before, that it means that now there's a revelation of the hidden realms, and they become evident. So we're now having an evidence of the essence of Hashem present in our experience here. And that is the Krias Yamsuf that then allows us to reach the point of Shemona Esrei.